Yano is a clumsy idiot with no social life who keeps getting injured every day on his way to class. However, when the prettiest girl in his class takes a liking to him, she decides to become his guardian angel, protecting him from harm and helping him lead a normal school life. It all starts on the day Kyoko becomes the class president, and everyone cheers for her. She asks her friend Mei if she is really the right choice, and her friend says everyone voted for her because she is dependable, which makes her blush. Just then, a boy enters the classroom, apologizing for being late, and the teacher says he did not expect him to be late and get injured on the first day. He then tells the boy to introduce himself to the class, and he tells everyone that his name is Yano. Seeing his injuries, Kyoko watches in shock as Yano's seat is next to hers. She laughs internally because Yano sounds like a tough guy name, but the guy is covered in bandages. She observes him for 1 week and then complains to Mei that Yano shows up with a new injury every single day, making the friend wonder if Kyoko has developed a crush on him. However, Kyoko is genuinely worried for his safety and doesn't understand how this clumsy idiot gets hurt every day. She starts to wonder if it's bullying or domestic violence, and then asks her friend if she is the only one who is so worried about him. Mei is also curious and suggests they follow him after school to see what's causing all the injuries. After school, Yano cluelessly walks home, and both Kyoko and Mei watch him closely. Mei thinks nothing is going to happen because he is walking normally, but Kyoko says he has only walked 10 steps, and they need to observe him more. She also tells Mei that her scarf has been bothering her all day, and when Mei says she doesn't know how to tie it up, she turns around to help her. Just then, Mei notices that Yano tripped over nothing, and since he's sitting, they believe his shoelace came undone. After he gets up, he bumps his head on a tree branch, and when he starts walking, he steps into a puddle. He then hits a pole, followed by a sign, and both girls watch in shock, believing that he must have an extra chromosome to be this stupid. Afterward, Kyoko walks home and thinks about how clumsy Yano is, which worries her even more because she doesn't want Truck-kun to visit him. Just then, she spots a young girl sitting in the corner with bruised knees and immediately rushes to her aid. The girl tears up and says she got hit by a speeding bike from behind. So Kyoko pulls out her first aid bag, saying she carries this around because she has a younger brother and sister. She then patches the girl up, who thanks her with a big smile before saying that she has asked her mom to pick her up from here. After the girl leaves, Kyoko turns around to see Yano without more bandages on his face, and he says he got snagged on a branch. She becomes terrified because she thinks Yano saw her peeping around him, but then convinces herself that he can't be so aware. However, Yano admits he noticed someone following him and followed them back, and now he knows it was her. Kyoko apologizes for it, and Yano says it's fine, but he is curious as to why. Kyoko is embarrassed, but admits that since he was showing up to class with new injuries every single day, she got worried and decided to watch him. She is not panicking because she thinks everyone will call her a stalker, but Yano smiles at her and calls her kind for caring about him. He then waves her goodbye and heads on his way, leaving Kyoko in shock. She then returns home with her jaw hitting the floor, and even while cooking for her siblings, she cannot get it out of her head. That night, she admits she was caught off guard by the compliment, and thinking about Yano makes her nose bleed. The next day, as Yano greets her in class, she asks him if he is okay before noticing that he broke his right hand finger during physical exercise class. She notes that he's not very athletic, but Yano is happy because he goons with the left hand. She asks him if he ever catches a cold, and Yano admits that he never gets sick despite his injuries. Just then, she notices blood coming out of his temple and tells him about it, and Yano casually says he bumped into a sign on his way to school. As he goes to the nurse's office, Kyoko anxiously joins him, but then he sees some guys running at them, and they bump into Kyoko. Luckily, he catches her in time before she falls, but immediately lets go and apologizes for getting too close. He then says that since he gets injured a lot, he is now used to it and doesn't mind getting hurt anymore. However, he never wants someone else to get hurt because of him. which makes Kyoko blush so hard she could pass as a traffic light on red. Later, she goes to the cafeteria with Mei and tells her she is still worried about Yano. Even though he told her he's fine, Mei tells her to focus on other things, like tests. But Kyoko admits she cannot stop thinking about him. Mei says it looks like she has a crush on Yano, which shocks her. The next day, Yano arrives at school and greets Kyoko, who is delighted to see that he's got no new injuries. She starts blushing and admits this is her first time seeing most of his face because it is usually covered in band-aids. When she finds herself daydreaming, she realizes that she indeed has a crush on Yano, and this thought keeps her up during the night. The next day, she looks exhausted in class and tells Mei she has no idea how she should act next to Yano. Later, she notices that Yano is late again and starts worrying about him. Yano does not show up for the next few days, and even though she wants to go to his house, she doesn't have his contact or address. After class, she heads to the teacher's office, where she hears Amiya-sensei on the phone, talking about how Yano was almost ice-skated by a truck. In shock, she runs out of the school building towards the hospital and barely makes it to the reception. There, she comes across Yano covered in bandages, and as they catch up, he tells her he wasn't hit by a truck, but rather, he ran into a wall while avoiding it. He says he is cleared from the hospital today and can come to school tomorrow, and Kyoko is visibly relieved upon hearing it. She starts laughing when she sees he has injured the same finger again, and Yano notes that she skipped class to see him, which makes him happy. For the next few days, Yano and Kyoko become closer until she suddenly realizes she's the annoying chick in his class who doesn't know when to shut up. During break, she asks Mei how she can get closer to him, but Mei says they already seem like good friends, though there is a wall between them. For the next few days, Kyoko starts observing him and notes that Yano is king to everyone, and he probably likes being alone more than she thought. After the day ends, she realizes that must be the reason why there is a wall between them. As she's walking home with Mei, she notices Yano walking in front of them and recalls how he said he doesn't want anyone to get hurt because of him. She recalls how sad he looked when he said those words, and in that moment, she decides that she will become good friends with Yano. When Mei visits her on the weekend, she tells her that Yano is avoiding people on purpose because he thinks he is a liability. She wants to know if there is a way to break down his walls, but just then, her younger brother Sato spills potato chips everywhere. After consoling him, Mei suggests they come up with a plan to make Yano open up. She proposes they make homemade cookies and eat them in class, which will naturally cause everyone to gather around them. Kyoko will use this change to make Yano eat some too, and it will help break down his walls. The next day, as Kyoko waits for the right moment, Mei returns with the terrible news that her cookies were so delicious. Their classmates ate the whole pack. Frustrated, she notices that Yano is busy with his own work and vows to break down his wall. She then proceeds to their second plan, where she says she forgot her textbook at home, asking Yano if he can move his desk closer to her. Yano agrees but ends up breaking his fingers in the process. She then tries several other strategies that all end with Yano taking the L, and in the end, she feels defeated because everything she tries fails miserably. While she's freaking out, Yano finds her sitting alone on the stairs and asks her if she is okay. When she says she's fine, he decides to leave, but Yano knows he got all these injuries because of her. She grabs his shirt to apologize, but ends up breaking the buttons, which makes her feel even worse. However, Yano starts laughing out loud, saying it just caught him off guard, but Kyoko still feels bad and says she will treat all his injuries from now on to make it up to him. After he accepts her proposal, she starts blushing again before putting on a proper bandage on his fingers. She then asks him what she has to do to be his good friend, adding that she wants to help him open up around others and not worry about his clumsiness. She then panics because it sounds like an admission of love, but Yano calmly tells her he just wants to have a normal school life and hang out with friends after classes. He also says he wants to go to cafes, parks, and karaoke places with his friends, and Kyoko tears up, promising that she will help him in all those things. He then tells her her cookies were delicious, and Kyoko is surprised because she thought he had never had one. That's it for this video. If you want the next part, write part 2 in the comments and leave a like. Thanks for watching.